All right, welcome back. We are in our third class of the externalizing behaviors, and today we are focusing on a positive home environment. We are going to talk about family atmosphere, creating an incentive system, how to do effective praise, and then homework. So let's get started with family atmosphere. Many families dealing with behavior issues often experience frequent tension, yelling, lack of trust, low morale, and emotional distance at home with their kiddo. And this can become a self-fulfilling prophecy of everyone expecting bad things to happen, and then when those bad things do happen, reacting poorly. That's very human and very understandable. What happens is it can also lead to both you and your child feeling frustrated and starting from a place of negativity with each other. And for your child, it can add to the story that they tell themselves that they're not loved. And that can be really harmful to them and leaves them in a space of not being able to learn new behaviors. So we're really going to work on shifting this atmosphere by lightening things at home using incentives and rewards. So how can we lighten the family atmosphere and really brighten that feeling of it being a loving home and of each and every single person in the home feeling loved and safe and appreciated? Well, we're going to start with really helping you lean into positive interactions. We talked last week about how research consistently shows that it takes more energy to pay attention to the positive behaviors, but that's really what will lead to your child learning to do those positive behaviors more. So what does that look like for you? It looks like using praise, using a positive tone, messaging that you believe in your child, finding the moments of joy, and creating hope. And this really will be effective for your teenager, especially if they have this story in their head that they've been labeled as a bad kid or a problematic kid, and that there's no point in trying because they're just not going to be loved. That's devastating, and it's something that you can counter with experiences for them where they experience you being positive and loving. And that really starts even when you're catching positive behaviors and there are still some problematic behaviors. So how do we do this positive attention? How do we really lean into this? It's with you being intentional about highlighting your child's good behaviors. And the best behaviors are the ones that when they're actually doing what you want them to do, so praising good behaviors. You can also praise when misbehaviors don't happen. So you can also praise when they do something neutral in a situation where they might have done something problematic. For example, if you have to set a boundary with your teen and you have to tell them, no, you can't go out with your friends today, and your teen sort of rolls their eyes and says, oh, you're so annoying. Well, perhaps in a different scenario, they might have, thrown the TV at the wall, and maybe you can say, hey, I'm really proud of you for using your words to express that you're frustrated with me. That is building trust, and I really want to reward that. And then the third thing you can do is praise compliance when your child follows instructions. So this may be expected that your child follow instructions, but if they haven't been doing great at that, then really praising them for that will help them build that behavior. And again, we're looking for improvement, not perfection. Okay, something that teens struggle to communicate is that they really value time with their parents. And how do they struggle to communicate that? They probably won't prioritize it, they probably won't make it happen, and they'll probably act more interested in their friends and peers. That is all age appropriate and totally normal. It means there's a little bit more work to do for you as the parent to make sure that you and your child still get that precious one-on-one time during these formative adolescent years for them. And so one-on-one time is a focused period of time where you as a parent spend alone time with your teenager, engaging in an activity that your teen enjoys. So, maybe that's sitting talking with them about their friend group. Maybe that's watching a few minutes of a show that they really like with them. Maybe it's, together cooking their favorite dessert. The idea here is it's the quality of those 5-10 minutes of connection, and it doesn't necessarily mean the quantity. So quality over quantity. So it's about, maybe you do this once or twice a week, but when you do it, it's really connecting. And so for you as a parent, you're going to have to be proactive about planning it and making it happen, and not taking it personally when your teen struggles to prioritize it. They're really going to need you to be the one making it happen. So what does effective one-on-one time look like? Well, you have to choose an enjoyable activity, one that your teen enjoys and one that you enjoy. Really try to be non-judgmental during that time. So this is your precious time with your adolescent without distractions. It can be on a drive home, it can be before bed, it can be after dinner. It's really just 5 to 10 minutes. It's a chance to build connection, being present, having fun, avoiding corrections or instructions during this time. And we're working to dismantle the belief that your child may carry that they're broken, troubled, or problematic. We want your child to experience that you can show up and love them exactly as they are in this moment. And that love and acceptance will help them find the strength to choose different behaviors in difficult moments. And again, so it's for you as the parent, it may take some practice in this special one-on-one time. If small issues come up, really don't lean into that. This is about positive time and positive connection. And then, you mark when that time is done, and then you can, go back to the role that you have as their parent, which does involve correcting their behavior sometimes and setting boundaries. Alrighty, so the next section we're going to talk about an incentive system. We are going to use the positive opposites that you identified last week. So if you could please review your homework from last week, which was to identify 2 problem behaviors and their corresponding positive opposites. As a reminder, positive opposites are the behavior you want your child to have instead of the problematic behavior. Choose one of these problem behaviors and its corresponding positive opposite. That's the behavior that we're going to use for the incentive system. And the incentive system will help your teen strengthen positive behaviors and decrease problem behaviors. And this is really leaning on, again, what we learned last week, that positive reinforcement is the most powerful way to change behavior. Reinforcement is the procedure of increasing and strengthening behavior by following it with a reward or a reinforcer. You'll hear me use reward and reinforcer interchangeably. The reinforcer is, it should be a positive experience for your child that makes them want to repeat that behavior. And remember, our goal is to increase your child's positive behavior. In another week's class, we will talk about addressing problem behaviors head on. Right now, we're focusing on positive behaviors. And part of that is because your child's life experience probably is telling them that they're mostly getting negative attention for negative behaviors. And we're trying to change that. We're trying to have your child experience that they can get positive attention for positive behaviors. Okay, what are the types of rewards or reinforcements that you can use? Especially for teenagers who can, sometimes be a little bit picky about what kind of attention they want from their parent or caregiver. There's 3 different types. You can use material reinforcements. So that's tangible things like their favorite snack, candy, a new shirt, etc. It could be privileges or activities. So one-on-one time can actually be a reward or reinforcer. Their chores being done by you, that can be a reinforcer. Being able to stay up late, being able to go out with friends, those can be reinforcers. And then there are social reinforcers, which is your approval. Your child will not show it, but they seek your approval. A smile, a wink, a hug, praise, that's something they carry with them and they secretly treasure. So in developing your incentive system, you can use, and we encourage you to use, a variety of reinforcers. Use all of the ones listed above. The more the merrier. And keep in mind that a lot of things can function as reinforcers. What they have in common is that your child experiences them as positive. Okay, so what are the rules for the rewards or the reinforcement? The reinforcer has to increase the strength of the positive behavior. So if the candy that you're using as a reinforcer is no longer positive for your child, then that's not working. Number 2, the reinforcer should occur immediately after the positive behavior. That means you have to be organized and have prepared ahead of time so that as soon as the positive behavior happens, you catch it and you reward it. And number 3, your teen must perform the desired behavior before receiving any reinforcement. So they don't get reinforcement without doing the desired behavior, at least not in this incentive system. Outside of the incentive system, they can still get that cherished one-on-one time. You can still be praising them for doing positive or neutral things. But for this specific incentive system, they have to do the desired behavior. Now, if you're trying to get them to do a new behavior, for new behaviors to occur, the reinforcer needs to follow the behavior every time. And that is a big ask for you as a parent. And so really also hold some grace for yourself. You have your own busy life with its own challenges. And so as much as possible, be consistent with this incentive reward system and be kind to yourself. A couple of key points. So the incentive system in summary: 1, simple; 2, start small; and 3, reward immediately. So number 1, it must be simple. As we talked about, you're going to pick one behavior you want to reinforce, which is the positive opposite of the behavior you want to change. You want to make it clear what you're measuring and what the payoff is. So once you have thought through all of this, sit down with your teen, with your adolescent, and talk through, hey, I really want to see you doing this specific behavior more. Here's a list of things that I think you would enjoy as a reward. Let's build off of that list together. Okay, now you know the behavior I'm looking for and you know the rewards. I am so excited to see you have this behavior and to give you a reward. Let's work on this together. And if I don't catch you doing this behavior, tell me about it. I really want to hear about it. Number 2, start small. Keep in mind, you're trying to set up your child for success. They are not going to be able to make huge changes overnight. So as much as possible, choose something achievable so that you can catch them being successful this week and rewarding them. And also try to be really specific. Make sure that what you're describing to your child passes the stranger test. That if a stranger overheard you, they would understand exactly what you're describing to your child. 3, the reward must be immediate and meaningful. Talk with your teen and make sure you guys agree on what rewards you're going to use. And it should be a reward not just that works for them, but also for you. The point is not to break the bank. There are a number of rewards that are free, that do not cost money, including one-on-one time, smiling, hugging, having an impromptu dance party to their favorite song from childhood. There's lots of rewards that can be free and just take a few moments, but that bring that connection and positivity. All right. Now, effective praise. This is for both in the incentive system and outside the incentive system. Some key points for you to be really effective at delivering that praise to your teen. Number 1, try to be physically near them. So don't shout it across the house or across the room, or you can do that and then also walk towards them and reinforce it nearby. Why is that? Well, as humans, we evolved from animals who pay more attention to what's nearby than what's far away. So your teen is more likely to pay attention and really hear what you're saying if you're close by. Also, if you're close by, you can be sure that you're actually seeing the behavior that you're praising. A second trick for effective praise is try to use a really sincere, enthusiastic tone of voice. Like, be genuinely excited and proud of your child and express that in your voice. You don't have to be loud. If that's in your personality, great. If it's not in your personality, you don't need to do that. But ideally, you sound really thrilled so that your teen can hear that in your tone. Number 3, use nonverbal reinforcers. Show your teen that you're pleased by smiling, winking, touching. You can hug your teen, give him a high five, pat him on the back. That adds to the words that you're saying. And then 4, be specific. When praising your child, say exactly what behavior you approve of. For example, wow, thank you so much for picking up your shoes and putting them in the closet. Okay, homework this week. You have 3 homeworks this week. We are hoping that they're still very doable and possible to fit into a busy life. Homework number 1 is one-on-one time. So arrange 5 to 10 minutes of one-on-one time with your child at least twice this week. And again, that could be while you're driving them somewhere. It could be after dinner, it could be before bed. Keep it light, fun, and loving. These are 5 to 10 minutes where you really want to show up and have your child experience you love them unconditionally and that you really like who they are. And then tell your family guide about it. Number 2, the incentive system. Define the positive opposite that you will reward. Sit down with your teen to agree on a list of rewards, and then really try together with your teen that they have the behavior and you catch it at least twice this week. And tell your family guide about it. And then 3, effective praise. At least twice this week, give your teen praise in a sincere, enthusiastic voice. Do this in a way where you're really proud of yourself for how effective you were at praising your child, and then tell your family guide about it. Thank you so much for the time and energy that you're putting into this. We are so honored to have the privilege to work with you and your child, and we look forward to hearing how this week goes.